What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Waterboy Podcast. Today is episode 348, and we are rebounding off of one of the stranger periods of the year. That post-October start of football season. Like, I forget who was debating with this with me recently. Somebody was bringing up, is this the deadest time of the year in sports? And that's not correct. That's July. Like the day the NBA finals ends, you begin 40 days and 40 nights of nothing. 40 days and 40 nights of you need
fasting?
to fill your summer.
It's like sport fasting.
You give up football for 40 days and 40 nights, and now you're just into like living life, which none of us know how to do outside of sports. So that's not a fun time. Like, at least I was thinking about that. I was talking with a coworker about this, actually. It was about summertime sports. They are, I believe, a Green Bay Packers. Yeah, Wisconsin sports fan.
Immediately stop talking to them.
I know you're well, for them, they were just saying, specifically talking in the summertime. They're like, yeah, I mean, I went to Wisconsin, Green Bay Packer fan, like Brewers fan, like all Milwaukee. But in the summer, Milwaukee was good this past year. But he was like, for the most part, the Brewers are awful. Wisconsin, you can't get into recruiting because they're not landing any recruits ever historically. So, like, if your baseball team isn't good, you need to get into college football recruiting, or else what are you going to do?
Sometimes not college. Sometimes like you have NHL.
You need the
still,
MLB team to be good.
You still have. Well, I guess in July NHL is also over. So
done. Yeah. So July is when NBA and NHL just wrapped.
The WNBA finals.
I think they take like a month off in the middle of the summer. They have a really weird schedule where they have like a mini mid-season break.
Grant, you get Jody Chestnut mid-July. That's your sport intake. Correct. That's your sport intake.
You're very, and of course, shout out the kids, Little League World Series.
Yeah, that's your sport intake right there. And the Olympics. Sometimes we're gonna get the Olympics next year. Yeah, that's the really big fill.
I want to say this: was it 2 or 3 years ago when the World Cup was in Thanksgiving time? That was exhilarating.
Yeah.
We complained about the World Cup being at that, or general football fans. We didn't care. The general soccer community globally was like, this is actually the first time ever that a World Cup wasn't in the summer and it was in the winter for temperature. Just, it was the first time ever that the World Cup wasn't in the summer. Was the most recent one. But selfishly, as American sports fans, that was amazing.
Well, hey,
when we had Blackout or was it Blackout Wednesday or Black Friday? That we had USA versus England, and we drawed the shit out of them. We won the shit out of that draw. We won that draw so hard. Like,
I think the only thing that we said could have been more American is if we played it on the 4th.
Yes. Yeah.
I think we said that on
England
the
on 4th of July would have just been.
I would just like to say, if they think
none of us would have cared, which would have made it even funnier.
If they think, though, if general soccer athletes and fans think that it's going to be too hot in the United States for the World Cup, oh boy, you guys should have seen what it would have been like if they did play in the summer in the last World Cup.
Yeah. Just real quick, we're on this, and we won't talk about soccer again for like another 4 years, I promise, guys. But
World Cup,
hear us out.
We'll talk about it.
We'll
One
give our World
when we
Cup
play
preview
England.
After the finals done.
Well,
we'll give our preview. I don't know if we're guaranteed to playing. Like,
it's in the United States. They're gonna make sure we play.
No, I know.
It's a necessity for ratings.
That's how it seems. I know. But like, England has way bigger, like, they're going to make sure England plays Argentina this year. They're going to make sure. They're going to find a way. They will. That's apparently the biggest, Brazil and Argentina, and then England, Argentina. But last little point, soccer. Weston McKennie. He's an American soccer midfielder for Juventus, and he starts. So this he is a legit European soccer player. Weston McKennie, look him up. He's only a little bit older. He's probably like 26, 27. He has
Yeah.
like another 4 or 5 years in top Europe playing. Anyway, he's from Texas. I think he played college soccer. Don't quote me on that. He probably got
Waterboy analytic.
plucked to Europe when he was 9 months old, because that's how quickly they scout the kids now. But he sits there and saying, like, yeah, I mean, for me growing up in Texas, any American is well aware, if you played just like football specifically, if you went through summer workouts, you're aware of how hot it could be. And Weston McKennie's sitting there pretty much like laughing, just like it's kind of a joke that they're complaining. Like,
Yeah.
it's really not that hot. And his other point was, my teammates are going to be mind blown when they find out about air conditioning, because like that's just not a thing in Europe. And he's like, I'm genuinely excited.
I can confirm
for my
yeah,
teammates. He was like, I'm genuinely excited for my teammates to like learn what AC is. And then they're like, wait, the Americans do some things right. You know, this
Well,
AC thing's pretty damn good, guys.
Most places in Europe air dry all their clothes. They don't have dryers.
That as well. But yeah, there's many reasons like in the culture as to why that exists. But it's very funny, all those complaints about the Texas weather. It's just like, what do we mean? And also, if there was something to complain about, you complain about the turf fields and the ACLs. The only man who has forced American stadium owners to put in grass fields is Lionel Messi. He's the only man in the history of American sports that has forced owners to change the fields. He's literally the only person that's ever been able to do it.
Power to you. Okay. All right, Grant.
No other American athlete has been able to. So that's enough. We'll talk about that again.
Moving on from soccer talk. Not where I expected to go with that. Let's look into college football.
What an intro.
In the NFL season, or not season, just status after this past week. Once again in college football, we've got some big losses and wins occurring this past week.
Could have been a much larger week.
Could have been
much larger. You know, I'll start by saying this real quick. Indiana, Penn State. I don't know how memorable this is to the general college football community. As an Ohio State fan, I can literally see the play in my brain, right? Literally can see it right now. But
you're not talking about the toe tap, are you?
That hovering catch that Omar Cooper Jr. made was a million times better than Marv's hovering leg catch that he made.
You're talking about the one to end the game?
Yeah.
Yes.
The catch, the play of the year. We all know what we're talking about. Gus Johnson arguably like passed out 6 times announcing the touchdown.
He was so drained that the announcing was actually bad from how drained he was.
Yeah. No. It took a serious hit for how emotionally drained Gus Johnson was trying to make that call. That was a million times better than Marv's catch. That whole last drive was just, that's college football at its peak right there. It was a Heisman candidate, Fernando Mendoza, leading his team down. And ironically played himself into a Heisman moment by having that last drive, and which he helped contribute to coming down to a last drive to begin with. Still, that was a Heisman moment. You can't debate that. I swear I'm not bringing this up because I think Julian Sand needs more motivation. No, it's definitely not why. But I think Fernando Mendoza is the clear Heisman favorite. Ohio State, at the end of the day, they really shouldn't even be in contention at the end of the day. Sand and Jeremiah, they're splitting votes. So you guys should probably just like not vote for them at all then, because they're going to split votes anyway. So you might as well just not vote them at all. Just, to be fair to the rest of some other quarterbacks doing great. Like Ty Simpson's been excellent. Jeremiah Love, dynamic back, carrying Notre Dame to an undefeated season so far. Marcel Reed putting the team on his back, willing the 8-4 Aggies a floor of 9-3. So they cannot go Texas 8-4. They can't. They physically cannot do that this year. So we're going to give Marcel Reed a lot of credit. And you know what? Carson Beck still deserves a shout out.
All right, that's where we're stopping.
Way better than saying. way better.
You were going too far.
True,
Maybe if you gave
it's
Diego
true.
Pavia some flowers, then we would be okay.
He
But
ultimately, like, I know, like Vandy, they just lost again, or they didn't play over the
they
weekend.
won.
Which
They
one
beat
was it?
Auburn. They beat Auburn.
Oh, that one got tight though. Um, he like legitimately deserves it. He is Vanderbilt football. I think for the next 30 years, when we think of Vanderbilt football, it will be Pavia. Like it'll take a miracle for somebody else to become a bigger star in college football than Diego Pavia over the next.
I don't remember what the
very difficult.
I don't remember.
I couldn't tell you before Pavia.
The guy's name was when he was like, "Yeah, we're gonna go into Bama. We're gonna beat Bama." This was like
Castellano said that.
Was that 20? That was like 20-ish years. No, that wasn't 20. It was like 10 years ago, right? It was like 2013, 2012.
When you say we're gonna beat Bama, Thomas Castellanos, not Nick Castellanos, Thomas Castellanos said that before the season.
No, this is like
Are
mid-season.
you referring to just an old
I think
quote?
I'm old quoting like on the TV after their game, or maybe it was the Notre. I don't remember it. This was like 10 years ago. This is when Vanderbilt, the last great Vanderbilt season.
Did they say we want Vandy?
No, this is Vandy saying they wanted Bama, and then
sorry, we want Bama.
Then they got cracked. Yeah.
Oh, I remember this vaguely. Yeah.
But I was gonna say it went from that guy to
on the team, though.
I would say Sarah Fuller like 6 years ago or 5 years ago when she went kicking for Vandy, and now it's Diego Pavia.
You're actually dead right.
That's the progression.
You are so accurate. That was the most famous Vanderbilt football player for a while. The female kicker.
Yeah.
Wow, I actually forgot.
Breaking barriers though. Finger snaps to Sarah Fuller though. Breaking barriers.
Finger snaps. But it was certainly it had the potential to be a great all-time college football weekend, and then Penn State lost, which that part's not surprising. But it wasn't quite the same. Also, the YouTube TV blackouts. I can't do this shit anymore, Everett. I can't do this shit anymore. I didn't.
Go get your $20, Grant. Go get your $20.
Well, you got to like go through 15 links to go get that.
You got to verify that you're a human at least 9 times.
15 times.
Oh, okay. My bad.
We need to make sure that you're not a bot.
Really make sure. Give them your social security number. Give them your social security number, your mother maiden name, and your routing number for your bank account, and then you can get $20.
And the name of your first pet.
Oh, okay.
Of course.
I forgot about that one. Of course.
Always need to include that one.
Of course. Yes. Of course.
Yeah, but we need to fix these ESPN, YouTube TV, blackouts. We need to fix them.
It's crazy.
It's gone on too long. It's been 2 weeks now.
It's also just not something that we as consumers should have to like. That's you guys figure.
And it's also nothing that we can.
Yeah, YouTube signing a petition or whatever. You think YouTube or ESPN is going to sit there and be like, oh, we got 3,000 signatures, dude. We're going to have to let you guys have it back.
Yeah.
No. They don't care. No, they don't care at all. Absolutely not.
They could not care less.
Damn it. We got 18,000 signatures today. We really have to make this work.
Yeah. They could not care less about the general college football fandom community and how they just don't care.
One thing that Call of Duty has taught me, Grant, it is that they care more about money than the quality of the content. And the people, they don't care how many people buy it. They still do it. You really learned it the hard way.
We learned it the hard way. we literally saw it and we're like, oh, wow. That's like the best case study example you could give the youth about quality versus.
I mean, kind of quantity, a little bit.
At the end of the day, what do you care about more? College football, it's a damper that I can't exactly watch all the games. So like in good faith, I'm not going to talk too strongly any takeaways about the SEC games. But as a box score watcher this past weekend, here, first things first, LSU, Alabama. I did know this for fact. Garrett Nussmeier getting benched while they're down like 9-14. 9-17.
It was 19. I think it was 10 points. Or it might have been like 8. I don't remember exactly when he got benched in it, but I remember it was still a close-ish game. It
It was
was
still a
not.
close game.
I don't think that it
He,
was fully won.
they only
Um,
lost 20-9. So it's, I mean, it's not like they got routed.
yeah,
But I feel for Garrett Nussmeier coming back after last season. If you like, I don't know if you watched that SEC documentary
no,
for the
I did not.
offseason, but the entire LSU section, it's like Brian Kelly and Whit Weeks peer pressuring Garrett into staying for his last year. And he finally gives in to the peer pressure. And then both Brian Kelly and Whit Weeks are like no longer on the LSU. Like Whit Weeks has been hurt since he started dating Lane Kiffin's daughter. So I'm not going to go too deep into the theories there, how Lane could be involved. But Whit Weeks gets hurt. Brian Kelly obviously gets fired. Garrett Nussmeier is the Will Smith in Fresh Prince of Bel Air meme, sitting there with nobody else around him. And he could have gone round. Well, I don't know if he actually would have been drafted round one if he went last year.
Probably not. I mean, like
his NFL career would have been better if he left. So
yeah,
that's
I would agree with that.
certain.
I think generally speaking,
Probably be
because
the Saints
I mean,
starting quarterback right now.
Yeah, he probably would be.
Over
I mean,
shock.
I said this last season. I've said it this season, and I will continue to say this. I've never thought that Garrett Nussmeier was a first round quarterback. The problems he's having this year were problems he had last year. It's just accentuated this year because of a lack of talent, because of the system, because Brian Kelly's gone. Like it's been the same problems. It was just covered up last year.
Many things have helped contribute to this, but I just feel for him because he came in, sat behind Jaden Daniels. He was a highly rated recruit, still sitting behind him after they portal in Jaden Daniels, just sits there, patient, waiting. Finally
look,
gets his turn,
one
has
way or
draft
another,
hype.
He's going to be with an NFL team. Like his dad will sign him to the Saints if nobody else does. So if he's not drafted or anything.
Fair. Yeah. It's just that sucks for him.
No, obviously it sucks. And
that.
It's a cautionary tale. We keep saying why everybody sometimes not even like we've seen it for decades now that going back to college is not always
usually
the best option.
Doesn't turn out well.
Like I get now that NIL is a thing. There's more incentive for players to come back. You can make more money than you might.
Garrett Nussmeier specifically, I'd imagine he got a lot of NIL.
But grass is not always greener, and also like even if you would make more money in one season staying in college than you would in NFL, like it is still a jump. Earnings. Like
many factors going into it all.
So, but we've seen for a long time. Just generally stuff with college though. Obviously the Indiana game. But giant ACC shakeup, Grant, this week. Louisville goes down to Cal. Virginia loses to Wake Forest. We have Miami wins again. It's still not out for Georgia Tech. Like there's like 6 teams right now competing. SMU, I think, is in there. Duke is right outside as well. I think they're now 5-2 in conference. So
yeah, I'm really rooting for Duke to somehow win the ACC. That'd be the funnest shit ever.
It'd be great for Tulane.
I think how it's kind of looking right now, like there's a pretty solid chance Tulane's. Well, there's no conference bye. I just think Tulane will be ranked over the ACC.
So the general situation with the G5 is on the current non-college football playoff poll because it hasn't come out yet.
Tuesday's playoff poll.
Yeah. JMU is ranked 24. USF is 25. Tulane's just outside. JMU, Grant, has not played a single. I don't think they've beaten a single Power 4 team. USF obviously has. Tulane obviously has. I don't know whether or not UNT has. JMU is currently they have one loss. Like, it makes no sense by strength of schedule for them to be ranked that high. It makes no sense for them to make the playoffs. If any of these 3 American teams in UNT, USF, or Tulane went out, they should be getting the bid over JMU. Tulane has...
Well, this is confirmed. The 5 best conferences get buys. I am not ruling out that 2 G5 teams get it over the ACC. I'm not ruling it out.
I still don't know if JMU would get in over 2 American schools based on like the conference champion and the conference losers.
Well, just it's the 5 best conference champs are in.
Oh, you're just saying
I
based on conference champs, you think two
I
G5
think
winners could
there's a
like conference
chance
winners.
that
Okay.
both those G5 conference champs will be ranked higher than the ACC champ. That's how bad the ACC
possible.
is.
It's
That
certainly
rough.
possible. I just do think right now, if I were to put money down,
I wouldn't bet on that to happen.
I would say
But
Georgia Tech probably is the team that comes out of the ACC.
I got no idea at this point.
I don't know. I mean, everybody's kind of lost to everyone.
Whoever is the number one team for that week in the ACC is just going to lose here on out for the rest of the year. I'm kind of down for it.
Keeps going back up and down.
Yeah, just kind of like 07, the year, the curse of the number 2 team. Every week there'd be a new number 2 team and they just lose outright. That might be the curse of the ACC. Whoever's the number 1 team technically ranked in the conference, they just lose outright that week.
Yeah, so that would mean Georgia Tech loses this week, then Virginia loses again next week, and then Pittsburgh loses the week after that, and then SMU loses the week after that, and then Duke loses, then Louisville loses, then Miami.
Yeah, I mean, it's just an absolute train wreck disaster in the ACC. Is there any chance Clemson could win the ACC? No. Okay.
They're currently
just making sure.
They're 3-4. They're 3-4 in conference right now. You have 4 5-1 teams, a 4-1 team in Duke right after that, and then a 4-2 team in Louisville and a 3.
All right, that one's done. But yeah, no, ACC is just an absolute disaster. I was hearing something. I don't know how true this is and what needs to occur, but I think there was something that says it could line up Georgia Tech at Georgia round 1.
If I was Georgia, that's honestly the last.
They played literally 2 weeks before.
That's
who Georgia Tech wants.
I know that's quite literally the last team. If I'm Georgia, that I
Georgia, that's the last team I want to face.
Last team I want to see. That's the last team I want to see.
Opening round. Like,
absolutely not.
I think this could be the year that we finally get a rivalry rematch in the playoffs. Maybe it's Ohio State, Michigan. Maybe
you're not getting
Ohio.
Else. You can't get Ohio State, Michigan, Georgia Tech. You could get.
Can. If Michigan wins out, they're 10-2. They're in. Now, a lot of people are picking Ohio State to beat Michigan this year. I'm not.
We've never seen a freshman quarterback do the things that Underwood's done. All right, we've never seen a freshman quarterback do.
We have never seen a freshman quarterback do the things Bryce Underwood's done, ever. Never.
Absolutely not.
Name one freshman quarterback ever that's been able to do what he does. You can't, exactly, because he's one of one. Nobody else could put up 120 yards, 14 for 80 passing, 5 interceptions. Nobody else could do that. Generational. No one else can do that. You kidding me? Generational. He kind of looks like Alex Orgy, guys. Not gonna lie. He kind of looks like him thus far. I've seen a breakdown on him on the RPOs. I think in their last game, Michigan called 18 RPOs. Guess how many times he threw the ball on those 18 RPOs?
Twice.
1.
Close. I was close.
Oh, but yeah, got to get that fixed. Get that fixed. That'd be my suggestion. Get that fixed.
Okay, Grant. Anything else in college football? Or are we gonna move on here?
I think that kind of overall does it. I expect to have one big disaster week coming up here soon. We'll see how
out of what program?
Just
general
countrywide. 4 top 10 teams taken out in a week. Like, honestly, I expect a disaster week to come.
That's kind of been happening.
It's been like slowly kind of like getting there, but not like, remember last year when everyone was like, Ole Miss is in the playoff, like 2 other SEC teams are in the playoff.
Oh, you're saying like a full collapse. Like, we're talking teams getting knocked out of the playoffs. Like 100%. Like you're
teams
talking
that you thought were they actually finished 9-3.
Yeah, you're talking like a Texas Tech collapse, or like
that wouldn't even really hit me. I'm talking specifically an SEC team, like an Ole Miss or something.
Ole Miss, Georgia's got a loss right now.
Georgia's starting to pick up a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a teeny bit getting there.
They're on the move, Grant. They're on the move. Okay.
As an Ohio State fan, just as long as Georgia, the current state they're in, kind of being overlooked, that's not the Georgia I want to face come playoff time. I'd much rather
that's the mentality you actually want Ohio State to have right now.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like teams like them, like in Oregon right now, like in Alabama, teams that are like being slightly overlooked, but they're still in it, and they do have natty hopes. Like those are the teams I'm the most nervous to face. A team that's been written off by the country, and people are like, "Oh, they're garbage." That's who I'm concerned about. If we play a team that is hyped up, like if Ohio State played Texas Tech in the playoff, oh my God, they had to bring out caskets. You know how many dead bodies would be on that field? Like if we go up against a team that is talking shit and has steam, oh my God, Everett. It literally is going to be a danger to those kids' health to be playing Ohio State in that game. It would not be safe, and it's unfair to them. That's what
happened with Tennessee last year.
Yeah, it was unfair to Nico that he had his helmet cracked twice.
Also,
that's not fair to Nico.
I was watching Pat McAfee earlier today, and Pat McAfee, we were talking about cold weather, right? And they were just like, yeah, I remember last year when the boys from Tennessee went up in Ohio State and they walked out pregame with their shirts off, and everybody from the Midwest was like, oh, guys, this is not the temperature you be doing. You can do that in 30 or 40s. When it's below 30, no, that actually harms you to do that. Like
you might be looking tough, but you'll be feeling that in the second drive of the game.
Yeah. Maybe we don't do that next time. But that's also why, Grant, case in point, true football weather is right now, late October, early November. It's when it's cold. It's when it's snowy.
Mm-hmm.
That's true
in the
football
elements,
weather.
That's football.
True football weather.
And, the story's yet to be fully written yet, because I don't know if Ohio State's the most fair example of going north, because you're also talent-wise going to play against a more talented team. So, but I need to see. Well, Penn State didn't really count. It was.
It's also not.
I need to see an Oregon or a Penn State as you see one of them host against an Ole Miss.
It's also not just that though. It's like, why do we say playing Iowa right now is always really hard, or even Minnesota is hard right now?
Iowa,
Any
Oregon
of those teams.
The worst weather you've ever seen in your life in that Oregon-Iowa game. Oregon had to play Iowa football to beat Iowa, which they did do, which as an Ohio State fan, I don't like seeing that. God.
Yeah, but
you're telling me they could out Iowa? That's not, and I know
it's hard to do.
I know when I say that out loud, you're laughing right now when I say that. You're like, dude, Iowa, come on, shut up.
Well, I also know exactly what you mean, though.
I know. You should never be in a tight game with them. I get it, but sometimes you can't throw. Sometimes physically can't pass today because the football god said, let there be storm. So sometimes you just can't pass. And
but
those are examples
true.
right
this
there.
is true ball weather, though. A 45 degrees sunny day. Give me that any time of the year for football.
Give me a 45 degree, not partly cloudy, not overcast, in between partly cloudy and overcast. So you see a little sunlight.
There's a little sun coming
sneaking
through
out
here
of the clouds, getting a little bit, but it's a nice gloomy day. Oh yeah, that's football weather right there. Very, very, very nippy.
Emphasis on 45. Like there's frost on the ground when you're getting up in the morning for the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 45. I'm not saying 30 below freezing. Okay.
No,
I'm not saying below
45
freezing.
is perfect because if it's sunny, it can feel a little bit warmer. If it's gloomy, it still feels like 45. You still have chance for rain, or you have chance for snow right there on the border. It depends where you're at.
We'll see what the temp is that.
And also, if you're an athlete and you're running all that time, 45 degrees feels amazing. Feels great.
Amazing.
It keeps you cool a little bit. Like you're not sweating ball. Like it's great.
I think specifically if there's a position group that likes that the most.
Offensive lineman?
I was going to say.
It's the offensive line. It's the offensive line.
It's like your first, maybe cut this. It's your first time all season where your balls aren't hot every play. All I'm saying.
You're talking from experience. Hey, that's an offensive lineman right there. As an offensive lineman right there.
First-hand experience. Used to block for D. Warren himself. But yeah, no. We're getting into football weather. You're dead right. I feel like we definitely get way more of these element games in the NFL because they are playing regular season in December.
But just case in point, like that Notre Dame game this weekend, I know Navy got obliterated, but like it was like 43, 44 degrees. It was raining at the start, and then it was full on snow.
Yeah.
Great. I mean, rain sucks. When it's cold and rainy, that's the worst weather physically possible. That's the worst weather. Like from experience, that is arguably the worst thing on the planet.
If you're on a team that runs the ball as a former lineman, and I only played in one ever, you will never have more fun in a game than if you're a running football team and you're playing in the rain.
Well, I will just say
and you're better. And you're better than the other team.
But from just a comfort perspective, if it's 45 degrees and raining and the wind's hitting you, as a human being, it just sucks being there.
It sucks.
That was essentially our bowl game versus Virginia Tech a couple years ago when I got a concussion. That was not a great day.
Yeah, no, but that's not fun. But
not having a good time.
Specifically, a flurry snow game where they could still pass. They could still pass, but the ground, you could see it.
I think this was the first year that Ohio State lost to Michigan. It was like 4 years ago.
That was the perfect snow.
It was some flurries here and there.
Excuse, we played in a blizzard.
But like that's like
powder.
That's elite ball weather right there.
If I turn on a TV, CJ Stroud to play in that blizzard.
If I turn on a TV and I see it's a big game like that and there's snow coming down, I just get excited. I'm having a great time just watching. That's what I hope for.
It is exhilarating seeing.
It's great.
But we're nearing that final stretch of the football season, and I'm just saying it's a packed November, guys. November 1st was a Saturday. There are 5 football Saturdays this month. We're on to the 3rd. Take it all in. There's only 3 Saturdays left of a full college football season, Everett. Sorry to ruin your year, but it's the reality. There's only 3 left.
You said regular. We said college football.
Regular season. Regular season. But when we can confirm all football teams are playing, we're gonna get 3 more.
Sad realization there. Okay, all right. Let's get into the NFL here, Grant. Weird weekend for the NFL. As expected, the Waterboys did not do well on their picks. Should have known. Grant advised, gave a disclaimer in the last episode to fade every single thing that we said. You should have done that.
There's one thing you can't say. You can't say that I don't know how Everett and I pick these games. I know that shit way too well.
Yeah. Okay, Grant. I mean, there's not a whole lot to talk about game-wise. I really think this was a boring week in the NFL. There is some interesting tidbits.
It was such a down week. I think we could do some overall NFL.
Yeah, as a general thing, I do think the precedent of it's literally anybody's given Sunday, like any team can beat anybody every week, is the same thing.
There's never been a more true
The Dolphins beat the Bills. The Saints beat the Panthers, who beat the Packers last week.
And once again, divisional games, quite literally throw everything you've ever heard in your life out the window.
Davis Giraffe Mills beat the Jaguars. The Giraffe won.
In one of the biggest comebacks in Houston Texans history, probably with that one Deshaun comeback. If you remember
the Chargers with what PFF says is the worst offensive line known to mankind.
According Pat McAfee's words, not mine. When we talk about ass, this is what we're talking about. The Chargers, his words, not mine.
But Grant, I have some general just tidbit information. We obviously have a firing to go over today. And I have something regarding Vikings.
Also, down week in college football, that no college football coach got fired.
Yeah, I still don't know how Mike Norvell is employed.
He's
I don't know.
He's going to get fired.
I don't know why they waited.
It doesn't make sense because you fire him right now because that's when your 30-day portal window opens and nobody's entering the portal right now.
Well, I think that the portal only opens once you hire a coach.
If a coach gets fired, that's when it opens.
I thought it opens when you hire a new coach, but
no, it's when they get fired. So the players on that team who were promised to play for his coach, they can now leave.
I know, but I thought that those players, it was more so when you hired a new coach because they were like, well, now
it just coincides all the time.
I got okay, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, whatever.
Grant, first things first, I thought that this is interesting. Did you know that Micah Parsons' contract or
Oh yeah,
trade with the Packers
please use
included
the
a
correct term.
poison pill,
Thank
the
you.
law term. Thank you very
Poison
much.
pill.
Poison pill that required that the Packers, if they were to trade Micah Parsons to the Eagles at any point, the Cowboys would then get an additional first round pick.
Yeah, yeah. And it's to NFC Beast team. Specifically traded.
Specifically to the Eagles. Specifically to the Eagles.
It's just the Eagles.
It's just the Eagles. I'm not even it literally specifically says the Eagles.
Yeah, it'd be funny if like somehow they trade him back to the Cowboys. They have to give the Cowboys a first because that counts as a NFC Beast trade. Obviously Micah's never playing for the Dallas Cowboys ever again in his life. But no, that was an interesting thing to hear about.
I've just never
but
heard
also
of a team
pretty down weekend of NFL if that's the leading story.
Yeah, but also I've never heard of a poison pill-esque situation in any athlete's contract, let alone in the NFL. And I get not wanting the Eagles to have Micah Parsons. I wouldn't really be super concerned about the Packers trading him to the Eagles because it's still in the NFC.
It'd be kind of ridiculous if they just retraded Micah.
As a general thing, though, I am happy that teams are now beginning to realize that they can't just give Howie Roseman everything under the sun for a third-round pick. I'm looking at you, Dolphins.
Interesting decisions over there in Miami, but I guess they just beat Josh Allen, so
I can't complain. Jalen Phillips is crazy that you trade him for a third. But I just thought that was interesting.
And if he doesn't re-sign, they get the third back or something.
The Eagles get
a conditional from the NFL.
Comps for Jalen Phillips if he leaves because he's on his rookie
from
contract.
The NFL, though.
Yes.
Okay.
From the NFL. But that was interesting. And then Grant, here's another little tidbit. I got two more things before we get into this firing today. Okay. First thing, Bucky Irving. Obviously, Garrett Wilson's out now for 3 to 4 weeks. Okay. Bucky Irving was reported a couple weeks ago of potentially playing. I don't know if they played the Saints or who it was a couple weeks ago. Him and Chris Godwin were both like, oh, they might play this one.
Yeah.
Since then, neither of them have played. Bucky Irving had a foot injury and a shoulder injury. Per doctor sources, all right, there are no injuries that Bucky Irving could have at this point that would keep him out this long that would not have required surgery. And should he be out right now and there's an indefinite timetable for Bucky Irving, wouldn't be surprising to these doctors if Bucky Irving would need season-ending surgery to repair a torn labrum or a fracture or something like that, because there's no reason that he should still not be playing right now, especially that he's not on IR and that he hasn't had surgery. So Bucky Irving out for the end of the season, rest of the season. Don't be surprised if that happens. Chris Godwin as well. Yeah, his leg is cooked, right? The leg's gone.
What about Mike Evans?
Mike Evans, I think they're still saying like week 15-ish. So
specific timetable
15, 16, but like last 2
at least they gave you a week,
I think that was the general timetable because it's like, hey, if he has 200 yards a game, Grant, he's hitting 1,000. He can hit 1,000. He can do it.
If he can rack up 789 yards in his next game, he hits 1,000.
I'll be honest. If you gave me a line odd of Mike Evans somehow hitting 1,000 yards over 3 games into the season, I would sprinkle it. Stop it. Mike Evans has found a way, man. He's found a way. He always finds a way
because he's only missed like 2 games a year
or 3.
Now
I think last year was like.
But still, it's not that much.
Yeah. No, I know. Okay, Grant, this is my last thing. My last big point. And I think that you'll find this interesting. This is play calling related. Kind of had you watch something related to this before we started the episode. Obviously, JJ McCarthy is in his 4th game starting. Okay. Essentially a rookie quarterback, limited experience. And you personally know, you watched him play in college, has an affinity for running over throwing.
I watched him hand the ball off in college.
Yes, that's my point. Grant,
and throw.
what if I told you in the game versus the Ravens, the Vikings never once ran the ball on third or fourth down? They threw the ball every single third or fourth down opportunity that they got. The Vikings ended up losing that game while the running game was averaging 6.7 yards per carry. They ran 13 times all game.
I feel like there could be some factors in this because Ravens had a bit of a lead, correct?
This was throughout the entire game, Grant, and the Vikings were leading at halftime. The Vikings were down by one score in, I think, like 5 minutes into the second half, and then two scores. They were down by 9 within like 7 minutes in the second half.
Okay.
But when it's like we're talking about, Grant, we're talking about like 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, 4th and 2, 3rd and 3, 4th and 3, 3rd and goal. Like we're talking about on like the 3 or 4, 4th and goal, 4th and 4. Like these are not long yardage situations. I get it. It's like 3rd and 6 or 3rd and 5, 3rd and 7, whatever. But we're talking about 1 yard, 2 yards. And 2 of those play calls, both of JJ McCarthy's interceptions came on 3rd down play calls for passes, 3rd and 6 and the 3rd one.
Help me out here because I'm not quite. Who's to blame?
Kevin O'Connell. Kevin O'Connell's calling plays, and this is an argument that you brought up the other week when it's time to figure out when you should stop calling plays, Grant. And Kevin O'Connell has been put in a position where it seems like I get you need JJ McCarthy to grow, but there's been a refusal to move to the run game, especially when you have a young quarterback and a guy that, you know, probably should lean on the run game a little bit more. It's kind of weird that you would be throwing up deep shots like that or forcing him to pass like that. JJ McCarthy threw the most passes in his career this past game. I think he had 43 attempts. Just not something that you would expect. Just something that's interesting, something to keep watch on because that needs to change. You can't be passing. I've never seen a team pass that much in my life, like on 3rd and 4th down. You'd expect at least one rushing attempt. But okay, Grant.
Slight, but okay, yeah, no, yeah, not what you want to see.
No,
out of Minnesota per se. There could be some like, you know, maybe it's JJ checking into a pass. I don't know.
I think it sounded mostly like play calling because KOC took responsibility for that. But all right, Grant, last thing that we really had,
I'd hope he would say he.
Last thing though that I really had today,
he doesn't need to be telling the truth. JJ could have been checking into passes, and KOC sitting there like, "What the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing, JJ?" Like, I don't know.
Either way, something needs to get fixed. But last thing that I had,
I'd suggest to fix that.
Yeah, and the 8 false starts that also would be recommended.
Now I did just see John Harbaugh said, I think something along the lines of like, we weren't really doing anything to cause the false start.
Yeah, Aaron Jones said that the Ravens might have been mimicking JJ McCarthy's cadence to try and get them to jump off sides. But then
that's not allowed.
Kevin O'Connell said that he didn't hear anything from the offensive line or anybody saying stuff. Okay. So I really don't know. And frankly, you're being paid millions of dollars. I think you should be able to tell the difference between the dude in front of you going, "Whitey!" versus JJ McCarthy right behind you, right? Like ears, you could tell which direction sounds are coming.
You'd hope so.
I would hope so. I would hope. I don't know. Clearly,
we can't confirm, but we
don't know. Okay, last thing that I had. Don't know if you have anything else, but big news from today: Brian Daboll out as Giants head coach. Grant, I think this marks the second NFL head coach to be fired to this point in the season. You obviously were talking to me about this a little bit earlier. I agreed with you on the point that you were making.
I find it ridiculous. I'm seeing so many like Giants fans go back and forth on this. And here, for the Giants fans complaining about their GM and how he was staying and they fired Daboll, but not the GM, like you're all right. Like, what are we doing right now? Like, how is the GM not also going? What are we doing? You're 100% right. Like, it literally reminds me of the Chargers, like Telesco situation. Like it reminds me of this, where it's like at the end of the day, the GM's not doing good, and it's never gonna figure itself up as long as that guy's in control. Uh, but on the point of just Giants, Daboll, Jackson Dart, the whole franchise, a big issue is that the ownership group slash GM and Brian Daboll did not have the same interests. They were not aligned. Brian Daboll, clearly his job was on the line this whole season. Brian Daboll had to coach well, or else he's getting fired, which he ended up getting fired anyway. And in Daboll's mind, part of the way to win games, go put in Jackson Dart over Russ. Dart starts winning. But also in the game plan, let's run Jackson Dart because he is a very good runner. And that helped the Giants become frisky. That's how we describe them under Daboll those past month and a half or so. Frisky Giants. But by running Dart so much, he got taken out of the game last week for his 4th concussion evaluation, not in his life, as a member of the New York Giants. 4, which I'm no doctor. I give that to Everett. He's Dr. Everett, but it's probably not the best idea when Malik Neighbors, your star first round pick wide receiver, is out for the year, torn ACL. Then your star running back, Cam Scatabo, is out for an ankle injury, not a concussion. You would think after that
Probably
they'd be
both.
like, maybe we shouldn't have our young star key pieces on rookie deals.
Look,
but no. Daboll need to keep his job, so he's going to keep running Dart. But that's the issue. The coach and GM, they're not on the same team. They were going to get the GM wants to tank.
This is also
to win to keep his job. So
this is also not really like the first time we've heard about this from the Giants organization, because
no, they're an absolute.
They've also been on a lot of like Hard Knocks or NC's, just like general film stuff, and like there's been clear disagreements between Daboll and Schoen for re-signing Danny Dimes. Like Daboll did not want Danny Dimes. The Saquon situation. And at the same time, obviously, there's been good picks. Like Dart is a good pick. Daboll clearly wanted Dart, but that was a thing that they agreed on. Schoen went up and got him.
Yeah.
Neighbors, good pick. Scatabo is a good pick. Defensively, though, there's a lot to want.
It's sexy Dexy and the boys.
Yeah, but the defensively secondary, rather questionable. Like could improve a little bit from what I've heard and seen. It's just a weird situation because like I feel like there's definitely pressure from the ownership for Daboll to win, and when you're putting in a position where your star wide receivers out, your star running backs out, you have a rookie quarterback, like
what do you want me to do?
What else do you do, right? And like I think Dan Orlovsky made this point earlier today where he was like, hey, the Giants might have made a mistake by letting Daboll go. I don't necessarily know if that's true or not, but the case in point is like, if there was more leeway with the actual situation going on, given the fact of where the Giants are at as a team, right? Like, and you let Daboll actually develop a quarterback rather than just be like, all right, QB draw, let's do it 7 times right into the face of the defense, right? Like, I think that you might have seen a little bit better development. And
and
I do think overall, like we've seen Daboll being a good coach, right? We've seen him make the playoffs. We've seen him develop Josh Allen.
And he's never really had pieces around him to
And at the same time, I get that first team with the Giants wasn't really his guys that he wanted to have or brought in. So he was kind of like, all right, I can be as aggressive as I want to be. And now he's kind of been like, all right, I'm going to kick a field goal on 4th.
But kind of at this point, like there's not many head coaches that have that power to be like, I want this guy. Like there's not many NFL coaches that have
the general
that
thing, when you have camaraderie between a GM and a coach, you kind of have that.
100%.
And to be fair, at the same time, like that's how Jackson Dart ended up there, because Daboll wanted Jackson Dart and John went and got him, right?
Yeah.
So it's give and take. I don't know. Like, it's one of those situations where it's like, I would have liked to see the rest of the season at least. Like, if I was an owner, I would have been like, hey, look, I'm not putting a pressure on your job. We'll figure it out for the end of the season because I want to see what you can do with the rookie quarterback in a given situation. I don't want you to kill him.
Yeah, and
So
it's like I don't really know if how this long term benefits the Giants because it's like I mean I get yeah their coach search starts earlier, but I mean does it
now,
really like
this is also like the one thing that I've been thinking this year a lot. Obviously, Titans are open, Giants are open. Given the way that the NFL has played out a lot this season, and every team kind of being able to beat every team and just being weird, I feel like this might be the lowest numbering of coach firings that we will see in a
see
season in a really long time because a lot of the teams that aren't great are developmental teams that have newer coaches, right? Or they're in a position where they might not let their coach go because of the situation they're in, like the Browns. Also, if the Browns let Kevin Stefanski go, I would expect the Titans or the Giants to be in on Kevin Stefanski. I think he's a good coach.
yeah
But like you're in those positions, or these teams have demonstrated that they're capable of beating other teams, or it's like a coach that's in their second year. Like Dave Canales is not going to be let go if the Panthers
oh
don't
yeah
do
hell
well,
no oh
right?
that
Like
one
that's
hell
not going to happen. D'Amico Ryan's also, if they underperform, D'Amico's not going to get let go. Like you're not going to have other teams like the Commanders aren't going to fire Dan Quinn after this 1 year in the
yeah
second
I'd say
year.
probably not
Like so, Dolphins maybe are the other potential with
yeah I was
Mike
thinking
McDaniel,
them
but also it might be a front office thing, and they might be like, hey, we want to have you one more year. We stuck you in a bad position. You guys re-signed Tua, shouldn't have done that. Similar, to the Giants situation. So it's just weird. Like every other team, like maybe the Raiders if Pete retires, but if Pete doesn't retire, you're not going to fire Pete. So
yeah like if any of all those teams like I think the most likely is probably the Raiders just because like Pete Carroll like he's an old guy. How much more patience does he have to like rebuild a team
but
from the
if
ground?
if
Like,
if that happens, that opening happens, it's because Pete doesn't want
yeah,
to do it.
yeah, yeah.
It's
No,
not
but
because the
Pete
team fired. Like
retires.
the only other team that I could see right now is the Cardinals in the bus.
Yeah, I was gonna bring up the bus. Ironically, it's like the Jets aren't gonna fire Aaron
No, they're not.
Glenn.
That's the
So
same thing. Like a lot of these teams, like I know we've seen first year head coaches be fired before, but like right now, I really don't see that happening given the
yeah,
situations of these teams.
I'd say it's like if you have an opening, you have a replacement, like go for it.
Yeah, but
But it's also it's like I can understand maybe you don't want to be getting yourself into
but it's just like
keeping Gerard Mayo around for an extra year.
yeah. I mean, just the Jets obviously. Like, I don't think this is a new front office. If it was a new front office this year, that
Well, it's
and they
Brick.
I know, but I'm saying they didn't hire um Glenn, right? Then I'd be
Yeah.
like, okay, I don't know what if they're gonna want to have him around for all these picks that they're about to spend, right? They hired him for a reason. They got all the picks. This was clearly a part of the plan. Okay. Dolphins, it's gonna be a new GM. That draws in the question if you're gonna want a new head coach. The GM's gonna want a new head coach, right? I just don't think that that's going to be the case. Stephen Ross, I think, would have done that by now, or have made it kind of a little bit more observant, right?
To fire McDaniel, you mean?
Yeah, yeah. Browns, I think it's the same Browns. I just think it's unfair to judge them right now underneath the Deshaun Watson contract. They might move on from Barry as a GM, maybe. I don't really know.
Well, I mean, there could be some overall shakeups because Jonah Hill just got hired from the Browns to
Yeah, that's
the
true.
Rockies. So maybe just
Yeah,
front
that's true.
office wise, there's
That's true.
some moving
But just a lot
parts.
of these teams that aren't performing well this year, I don't really see right now a direct path for a coaching shakeup. Like it's very few. It's very few teams.
Yeah. And I also guess just right now, like I'm thinking of Jonah Hill example, just in general, like overall sports world openings, right? November, like right when the World Series ends, that would kind of be your time to go jump sports or make like a major change. Like Jonah Hill going from Browns to the Rockies. Like this past week was his window to go do that if he wanted to. But I'm just the overall NFL coach firings, like trying to connect it just NFL college. Is there any advantage that the Giants have or the Titans have firing their guy? Like I really can't.
The
I don't
Giants, it's
really
for
know.
Jackson Dart's health.
Yeah,
Titans, it's also, I think we talked about when the
but just from a
Titans,
pure like hiring, getting the next
yeah,
like from
from a
that
pure
angle,
hiring
I
standpoint,
don't really know how much
really
advantage.
not. Maybe you see like the interim guy, if the interim guy has like the skill set that you're looking for that you like that's
When was the
possible.
last time an interim just got that? Like when was the last time
Freddie Kitchens on the Browns, but also like you want to talk about a
I
notable
usually
interim
doesn't end
guy,
that well.
Brent Key, Georgia Tech.
Oh, okay. There we go.
But
Okay.
um, just as like a general thing, though, like for the most part, if you're firing someone like college, it makes a little bit of sense because either you want to get vibes out of there so you keep players, or you're firing them to be like, all right,
Oh
players.
yeah, no, no. College,
Whatever.
I totally get it.
NFL, I think, is more so for appeasement. Like it's to sell tickets for fans and for the players' happiness, so they don't demand a trade or
Well, I
something.
was thinking more so player like
Players, it's just
right
also like
now. Yeah, no, it's Jackson Dart's opinion matters the most
it's also
for the
maybe
Giants.
there's something on like payment schedule too that owners are just like I want to get the money out now.
Yeah, I'm just
I do
interested
think
by
the
the
interim
timing.
bit like you might as well if you're not competitive right now and there's a clear reason
Might
for
as well
you
give someone a
to
shot and
move on,
shit.
might as well just see. Fuck it. Like at the same
Yeah,
time, like if I don't know what the Colts what Jim Irsay's daughter's name is that's like on the sideline on the Colts, but like
I mean,
but she's an example. Like
she's
if
very
you're
fortunate the Colts are playing well because she
I know,
should be getting memed. But
but
wow,
my greater point is if you're somebody like that that's very much in tune with the team,
as
right?
an owner.
As an owner, and you're aware of
Oh,
every coach's job, what they're doing, how they're doing it, and you're watching all of it, that's going to give you more observation over
oh,
okay, well
sure.
these are guys that I might want to keep around, these are guys that I might not want to
It sounds weird,
and
but
how
in
they're
a
doing it.
way, I think that Jim Irsay's daughter, like being on the field, like next to Shane Steichen, I think of I don't know exactly, but of the coaches that are going hard as shit, I have a feeling that she will literally never fire them ever because she is seeing it, and she's like, I mean, if you knew the shit that Shane Steichen's wide receiver, for example, does in
Well,
between plays, like
I
I don't
think
know,
if
like
I think if that's the case, though, then
fun angle.
you're gonna see more so in tune between the owner and the coach, more so
Yeah,
sidestepping the
I'm
GM,
not
being like,
that against
but I'm. It's
her
more so
being
just
so
like
hands on.
it's
I'm not
just saying,
that
hey,
against
like
it.
if you're gonna sidestep around the GM, I'm hearing the coach needs this guy or this guy, is not
Yeah,
going
then
with what I
you've
need.
just created a problem in your own
Yeah,
franchise.
right. Which might work. I mean, the GM might not be happy, but if you have all three of those parties in tune with each other, that's successful. That's success right there. That's as best as
Yeah,
you could
yeah,
be.
you got to get the triangle
But
of death: quarterback, head coach, owner. Well,
but
GM,
GM is in there.
GM,
But
head
it's the
coach,
three on the
owner.
bottom, and then you go. But at the same time, if you have an owner where it's not necessarily like that, and you have, hey, Madden said that this trade's bad, we shouldn't do it, then it's quite then that it gets questionable when you have people who are not as expertise in something. Like the reason why the Colts work so well is because she's there for everything and is watching everything and is in on football, listening to play calls, watching on the field, right?
I think yeah,
That's the way to be a
we'll
hands-on
we'll
owner.
probably need some more years exact because you know could be wrong. I imagine she wasn't as involved last season.
I think
When
she's been
Mister,
there, but
I know she. I
I
bet
don't think
she's
that
been
she's been at I
involved
think that she has not been as involved, correct?
on the
Yeah.
sidelines
Yes.
next to the head coach. She wasn't sitting next to um Chuck Pagano when Andrew Luck was the Q. Like no.
Oh no, I doubt she was there. Otherwise, the
And we're
offensive
having some
line,
more internet issues
yeah,
to
the offensive line wouldn't have been the way.
yeah.
But okay, all right. I think that that's a good place to wrap up, considering connectivity problems. Thank you, Zoom. But with that, thank you guys so much for watching, listening, raise 5 stars. You can find us on Spotify, TikTok, Twitter, and on Instagram at Waterboy Pod. You can follow me on Twitter at Everstakes and at Waterboy Grant. We post new episodes every week on YouTube and all podcast platforms. Make sure to subscribe, turn notifications to miss a single episode. We also post exclusive content on Instagram and on TikTok as well. So make sure to check us out there. So you don't miss anything else. And with that, we'll see you guys in the next episode. Waterboy's out.